Words appear. Learning Together with Zoe Fiogkos and Victor Gouveia announcing. On Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner. The Blind Perspective Network. Brought to you by VIP Tech and Greek Auto Services. Welcome everyone to Learning Together here on Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner. The show where Zoe gets to teach you how she gets to learn various things from her perspective. I am your announcer, Victor Gouveia. And remember, if you like what you're about to hear, activate the like button and share it with your friends and family, especially if you think they can benefit from anything we say here, and subscribe. Making sure to subscribe to Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner and Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? Activating the notification bell so you're notified when we go live or upload a new video. Additionally, we do stream on our Facebook page, Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And on Twitter at Blind Whos. Alternatively, if you can't catch us live, you can always catch us on podcasts. Whether you have an Apple device, a Google device, a Windows device, or even a Chrome device, you can catch us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and if you have the humanware line of players, the Victor players, you can go to the podcast section, do a search for Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And it'll go out and find us. You can also listen to us hands-free by asking Alexa to look for Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And she'll go out and do so. If you want a copy of the audio or video of this recording, or any recording we do on this network, send us an email, whoseblindlifeisanyway@gmail.com, or Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner @gmail.com, and we'll send you out a link on Dropbox that houses all the episodes we do on the network. On this episode of Learning Together, Zoe concentrates on the voiceover utility. While up to now, Zoe's given you the basics of being able to use the Mac initially. Now she goes into setting up the voiceover to your preference with verbosity, what to do with announcements, and various things like that. So now I present you your host, Zoe Fiogkos.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Learning Together. And I do have a headset on. Today I am going to share my screen with you. So when I do, I'm going to remove the headset. So in the previous episodes, we've covered the voiceover training, the voiceover help, Command F5 for turning voiceover on and off. I'm going to remind you of that command constantly. There's a few commands that if somebody mentions them to you every day, then for sure a few of them will stick in your head. And these are very useful commands. So obviously the turning voiceover on and off is one of those, because you may have to restart voiceover just because it's not behaving properly, um, which is something you do with JAWS as well. So Command F5. And I'll remind you that keyboard help is VOK. Yeah, so the VO keys plus your K is keyboard help. And I'm going to keep reminding you guys of that one as well, because sometimes there's nobody around to ask. And maybe if you play with it enough, you'll figure out what you're looking for. So I've done navigation with you guys. There's probably more, maybe there's some more tips and tricks on navigating, but I've covered the basics. I've covered your Apple, menu bar and your menu extras, the contextual menu. I've covered the dock. I've covered tabs, sidebar, and toolbars. And I think that's enough for us to start on the voiceover utility. We aren't going to do the voiceover utility in one shot. We're going to do it in bits and pieces. How many bits and pieces? I'm not sure. We'll see how things go. Yeah. And of course, if you have any questions on past episodes, or you have any questions on today's episode, or something maybe that I haven't covered about the dock or the Apple menu or context menu or something like that, please, by all means, either comment in the section below or send me an email at zoesblindkitchencorner@gmail.com. And Zoe's is without an apostrophe, ZOES, blindkitchencorner@gmail.com. And of course, you can contact Victor Gouveia at whoseblindlifeisanyway @gmail.com. And that I hope I can answer your questions that way as well, or address them in a future show. Now, I will be covering, I will go back to menus and stuff like that as we move further. Once we get done with the voiceover utility and we start to dabble into actually doing things on the Mac, like your downloads folder, your documents folder, your maybe restarting, shutting down your computer, maybe your mail app, notes app, pages app, so on and so forth. Slowly, I'll be using these menus and I'll be reminding you of things. Anyway, so you're going to give me a second now, because I am going to share my screen with you guys. So if there's any visually impaired people out there, they'll be able to, pardon me, they'll be able to see what's going on the screen.
You are currently on a text element.
There's my voiceover. I removed my headset because my voiceover, for whatever reason, is not coming through on my headsets. I have a headset and some earbuds, but I tested it out with Victor and we couldn't get it to work. So who knows why? So I removed my headset so that you guys can actually see my computer, hear my computer, and of course hear me. And I think I'm just going to turn up the volume. Give me a second.
Option.
Okay. So we are going to go to voiceover utility. So I'm going to press my VO keys, my modifier keys, whatever you want to call them, plus F8.
Option. Control. Opening voiceover utility.
And we'll,
Voiceover utility. Voiceover utility. Window. Utility categories. Table. General. Selected has keyboard focus. You are currently on a table. To enter this table, press Control, Option, Shift, down arrow.
okay. So I entered the command VO F8. Pardon me. And I waited. Even though she said opening voiceover utility, I waited until I heard kind of a bong. And then she announced in VO utility, categories table, general, and so on and so forth. And she gave us the instructions of what to do, which she told us. She basically told us to interact with the table of categories. Yeah. So I actually noticed that there's quite a few people that have verbosity set like that, the way I have it set up, even though they're way more advanced than me. And the reason for it is because they may forget something. And now I purposely let you guys hear. I let you hear everything she said when I opened up VoiceOver utility. But if I wasn't sharing my screen and doing a Learning Together episode, I wouldn't have let her say all that. I would have just ignored her and moved on because I know what to do. But because, and that's most people, that's what they do. They just ignore it and keep going. It's your choice. If you are getting confident with the Mac and you want to listen, or so not listen, don't. If you want to listen because you're a newbie. Anyways, so we're in the tables category. So I'm going to interact by pressing Vo Shift down.
Control Option Shift in utility categories. Table. General. Selected. General. Row 1. You are currently on a cell.
Okay, so general is selected.
Control.
So let's start with the first option there. Okay, so we know general is selected. So I'm going to stop interacting.
Option Control Shift out of utility categories. Table.
And she said out of utility categories. So I'm going to Vo right.
Control. Speak the following greeting after login. You are currently on a text. Hello, Zoe. Have a nice day. Content selected. Greeting. Edit text.
Okay. Now she said she announced my welcome message and she said greeting, edit text. So that means if I wanted to change this greeting, I could, and this is where I would change it. So right now, I'll do it again.
Option. Hello, Zoe. Speak the following greeting after login. You are currently on a text element. Hello, Zoe. Have a nice day. Content selected. Greeting. Edit text.
Okay.
You are currently on a text field. To enter text in this field, type.
So she's telling you don't have to interact. She's basically telling you just enter text. So I'm actually going to do it for you guys. Yeah.
Shift. Selection replaced. Age.
So all I typed in is one letter and it erased what was there before. So give me a second.
O. Hello.
Hello.
Z.
Zoe.
Zoe.
Here, I'll change it now and I'll type in
space. Zoe. Space.
Sorry, I added a comma there. Before I had it as hello, Zoe, have a nice day. Now here, we'll do something funny. Hello, Zoe.
Shift. I-N-I-F-F-E-D. Missed. Y-O-U. U.
Missed you.
Comma. Space. W-E-X-O-N-E. Welcome. B-A-C-K. Back. Shift. Exclamation mark.
All right. So now I've set my greeting to hello, Zoe. I missed you. Welcome back. Of course, this is just for fun. You don't have to do this. It could, if you wanted, when you log into your Mac or turn your Mac on and VoiceOver comes on, it could just say, VoiceOver on or something like that. I don't remember what the default greeting is, but I think it's just something like VoiceOver is on. Okay, so I've set that greeting.
Option Control.
I'm gonna Vo right.
Display welcome dialog when VoiceOver starts. Uncheck. Checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. To select or deselect this checkbox. Hello, display welcome dialog when VoiceOver starts. Uncheck. Checkbox.
Now.
You are currently on a checkbox.
It says display
Control.
this greeting when voiceover starts. I don't need it to display it because I can't see it. I need her just to say it. So my checkbox is unchecked there.
Control. Option. Keys to use as the voiceover modifier.
All right. All these episodes, I've been talking to you about keys to use as the modifier keys. And I actually took you through this part of the Vo utility in one of the previous episodes, but now we're going to do everything in detail. So, keys to use as your modifier keys.
Control. Option. You are currently on a text element.
I'm going to Vo right.
Control Option or caps lock. Keys to use as the voiceover modifier. Pop-up button.
Okay, so in my case, I have caps lock selected and control option selected, which those are the control option are your default voiceover keys. I'm going to activate the pop-up box by pressing Vo spacebar.
Option. Control. Menu check mark. Control Option or caps lock. Control plus Option or caps lock.
Okay. So she said that she said menu and she said check mark because I have it checked to voiceover keys plus caps lock. But if I arrow up, because that's the third option, okay? If I arrow up with Vo arrow up.
Option, control, caps lock, You are currently on a
so caps lock,
control.
But she didn't say check mark. And of course, I didn't let her, but if I had let her, she would say, you are on a menu item to choose this menu or item, so on and so forth. I'll let you hear it on the next option. So I'm going to Vo arrow up again.
Option, control Option, control plus Option. You are currently on a menu item. To choose this menu item, press Control, Option, space. To close this menu, press Escape.
Okay, so she told us if we want to select this, press Control, Option, space. And to get out of the pop-up menu, press Escape. So I'm gonna Vo down arrow.
Option, control, caps lock. You are currently on a menu item. To choose
and let's say I want to choose this item.
Control.
I'm going to click Vo space.
Option, control, caps lock. Keys to use as the voiceover modifier. Pop-up button. Okay. You are currently on a pop-up button. To display a list of.
Now that I made the selection.
Control.
She removed me out of the pop-up menu. But if I had opened that menu and not made a selection, just wanted to get out, that's where I would press Escape. So now, listen.
Option, control.
Whoops.
Menu check mark, caps lock.
Oh,
you are currently on a menu item. To choose this menu item, press caps lock, space. To close this menu, press Escape. Caps lock. Keys to use as the voiceover modifier. Pop-up button. Control. Option. You are currently on a pop-up button. To display a list of options, press caps lock, space.
Right. Okay. So, listen to what happens now. I tried purposely to use my Vo keys and my arrow keys to navigate, and you kept on hearing a dinging sound. Listen again.
Control Option.
Because those keys no longer work because we selected caps lock as your modifier. So now I'm going to hit caps lock arrow left, my left arrow, and listen.
Keys to use as the voiceover modifier. Display welcome dialog when keys to use as the voiceover modifier. Okay. You are currently on a text element.
So now I'm navigating properly because we changed the option. So now when we go towards the right, and we hear the pop-up button, listen what she says.
Caps lock. Keys to use as the voiceover modifier. Pop-up button. You are currently on a pop-up button. To display a list of options, press caps lock, space.
Okay. So now she's saying press caps lock space, not control option space, because we've selected caps lock as our modifier. Okay. And if I open up the menu with caps lock space,
menu check mark, caps lock.
See?
You are currently on.
Now she says menu,
control.
Caps lock, check mark, caps lock, so on and so forth. So she's basically telling you that the check mark is on your caps lock. I don't want it there, so I'm going to arrow down with caps lock, arrow down.
Control Option or caps lock, control plus Option or caps lock. You are currently on a menu item. To choose this menu item, press caps lock, space. To close this menu, press escape.
And this is the one I want because I want the option of both. I want caps lock or my control option keys as my modifier keys. So I'm going to press caps lock space.
Control option or caps lock. Keys to use as the voiceover modifier. Pop-up button.
Okay.
You are currently on.
She threw me out of the menu because
Control.
we made our selection. And now I can press my control option, arrow left.
Option. Control. Keys to use as the display welcome dialog when keys to use as the voiceover modifier. Control option or caps lock. Keys to use as the voiceover modifier. Pop-up button.
So I have it set back to the way I like it. So this is your preference, what you are going to use. There are some people who don't like using the caps lock as their modifier because it interferes with something somewhere on the Mac. I haven't encountered that yet, but if I do encounter it, I'm advanced enough to quickly go into the VoiceOver utility and change that option so that caps lock is no longer a modifier key. Do what I need to do and then go back and change it to the way I want it. So this is your preference, what you're going to choose. Let's move on. So arrow right.
Control option. Portable preferences off. Image.
Oh.
You are currently on an image.
Portable preferences off. I've discussed this with you guys before. I will at some point insert a USB stick and do my portable preferences, and I will actually do it with you. I'm not going to do it today. Okay?
Portable preferences off. Setup button.
So there's your setup button that you would press, and I'm sure VoiceOver will walk you through how to set up your VoiceOver preferences. We will do it together on a later episode. So I'm just going to right arrow.
Option. Control. Portable preferences let you take your VoiceOver preferences with you wherever you go. Allow VoiceOver to be controlled with Apple Script. Checkbox.
Please.
You are currently on it.
You should always have that checked. I've mentioned this before. Apple scripts some come with the Mac and some are out there that you can get off, whatever, the internet, I guess, or whatever, or other people that may give you an Apple script can give you such things as battery status on a MacBook or something like that. But I always have that checked because it won't harm anything, and Apple scripts is a good thing to have on your Mac so it can make some things work.
Option control.
Right again.
Help button. Help button.
And there you have a help button. Okay, so we're done with the general category. Let's move on to the next one quickly. I'm gonna arrow left really quickly till I get to the categories table.
Control option. Allow key display utility categories. Take in utility categories. Take.
Okay, I interacted when I heard
General. Selected. General. Row 1. Control.
Okay. As soon as I heard utilities categories, I quickly interacted and I'm in the table. So now I'm going to vote down arrow.
Control. Option. Verbosity.
Okay.
You are currently on a cell inside of a table. To navigate the cells within this table, press Control, Option, and then up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, or right arrow. To exit this table, press Control, Option, Shift, up arrow.
Okay, there's all your instructions again. So I'm going to stop interacting now that we're on verbosity.
Shift, on utility, speak, braille, tab, speak, utility categories.
All right.
Verbosity.
We're going to vote right.
Speech, selected, tab, 1 of 5.
Okay.
You are currently on a tab, 1 of 5. To select this option, press Control, Option, space.
So there's 5 options here. They're called tabs. 5 tabs. We're going to take them in order. The first tab, and it tells you that it's selected. So the first tab is selected, which is the speech tab. I'm just going to make sure.
Control option. Braille, tab, speech, selected, tab, 1 of 5.
Okay.
You are currently on a tab, 1 of 5.
So
to select this option, press.
If I vote arrow right,
Control.
you'll hear all 5 tabs.
Control, option, braille, tab, text, tab, 3 announcements, tab, hints, tab, 5 of 5.
Right? So hints, announcements, text, braille, and speech. Now, I am not a braille user. I will probably just go through the choices with you, but I have no idea how to set anything up. I do not read braille. I do not know. I know nothing about Braille. Okay. So unfortunately, I can't help you with that. If somebody is tremendously in desperate need of help with the Braille settings on the Mac, I could try to find some info for you. I could try to find somebody who uses Braille on the Mac who'd be willing to be a guest on my show. I don't know. I can't promise anything. Okay. So anyways, we've selected the speech tab. Let's vote arrow right and let's get to our first option.
Control, option, default speech verbosity. You are currently on a text element.
So that's just a heading. She calls it a text element, which says default, default speech verbosity. Let's vote right.
Medium, default speech verbosity, pop-up button.
Okay.
Choose how much detail is spoken when describing an item. You are currently on a pop-up button. To display a list of options, press Control, Option, Space.
So I'm not going to go into detail about this pop-up button because it's the same as the previous pop-up button. Okay, I'm going to vote space.
Menu check mark, medium, low. You are check mark, medium, high. You are currently on a menu item. To choose this menu item, press Control, Option, Space. To close this menu, press Escape.
Okay, so I have it on medium, and you see how much VoiceOver talks. This is where you would choose the level you want. I have to tell you that I think from the beginning I was on medium. But of course, to change it, so I'm on high right now.
Control, Option, check mark, medium, high. High, default speech verbosity, pop-up button.
Okay. So
Choose how much detail is spoken when describing an item. You are currently on a pop-up button. To display a list of default speech verbosity.
Okay.
You are currently on.
So I actually just switched it to high
Control.
on purpose.
Control.
So here, vote right.
High, default speech verbosity, pop-up button. Choose how much detail is spoken when describing an item. You are currently on a pop-up button. To display a list of options, press Control, Option, Space.
Right. So this is again a preference thing. I'm going to change it back to medium.
Menu
Vote
3 items check
space
mark.
bar.
High. Medium. You
Medium.
are currently on a menu item.
So if you notice, she now said check mark
Control.
on high. I'm going to check by pressing vote space on medium.
Option, Control, press medium, medium, default speech verbosity, pop-up button.
Okay.
Choose how much detail is spoken when describing an item. You are current default speech medium, default additional speech verbosity options, expanded disclosure triangle.
All right.
You are currently on a disclosure triangle.
The next item we
Control.
get to is additional verbosity. What did she call them? Options?
Option,
I think
Control,
so.
medium, additional speech verbosity options,
Yeah.
expand.
So she says expanded, and there's a disclosure triangle there. I think it's expanded by default. I did show you guys how to expand and collapse with disclosure triangles. Okay. So for example, give me a second. I'm going to vote right.
Option, Control, custom verbosity table, additional speech verbosity options, expanded disclosure triangle.
Okay. She says
You are currently on a
she says disclosure triangle. So if I do
Control.
vote backslash.
Option, collapsing additional speech verbosity options.
Okay, so she said collapsing additional verbosity options. So if I try to vote right now.
Control, Option, help button, additional speech verbosity options, collapse, disclosure triangle. You are currently.
So she went to the help button.
Control.
That table with the custom verbosity options is not visible anymore. But if I vote backslash again.
Option, Control, expanding additional speech verbosity options.
Okay, so now she's expanded it. So now I'm going to vote right, and we're going to get to a table.
Control, Option, custom verbosity table. You are currently on a help button, custom verbosity table.
So there's a table there now. We need to interact with it.
Control, in custom verbosity table, row 1 of 34. Control, add, verbosity default, menu button, description, name, selected, Control, add. You are currently on a text field inside of a table.
Okay. I'm going to vote down arrow and listen.
Control, Option, Control, button. checkbox. You are currently on a column view. Combo box. Disclosure triangle. Doc item. You are currently on a disclosure triangle. Combo box. Doc item. Drawer. Heading. Image. Incrementer. Layout area. Layout item. Level indicator. Link. List. List marker. Menu. Menu item. Page. Progress indicator. Radio button. Ruler marker. Scroll area. Sheet. Slider. Sort button. Splitter. Table. Text. Text area. Text field. Red area. Window. Window.
Right? So those are all your choices. I'm going to go back up to disclosure triangle.
Control. Option. Web text. Radio prop page. Menu. List. Layout item. Disclosure triangle.
Okay. I didn't want to vote arrow up, so I just pressed the letter D to get to disclosure triangle. Okay. Now, what was I going to do? Yeah, give me a second.
Control option. Verbosity high. Menu button. You are current description. Name. Status. Type. Verbosity high. Menu button.
Okay. So beside disclosure triangle, it says verbosity high menu item. Meaning that if I'm confident on how to use disclosure triangles and so on and so forth, I could change that. Yeah, so here.
Option. Control. Disclosure triangle. Combo box. You are column view. Checkbox. You are currently on a text field. It's column view. Check button. You are check column view. Combo disclosure doc item.
Okay, let's go to doc item. I'm just trying to decide which the best example to show you guys. Okay, let's say doc item. So now I'm on doc item and I'm going to vote right.
Option. Control. Verbosity low. Menu button. You are currently on a...
Okay, so here on the doc,
Control.
the verbosity is low for this item. So if I want it to be higher, I would vote space on this now.
Option. Control. Press the menu. Default. Check mark. Low. Medium. High. Custom ellipsis. Custom ellipsis. High. Medium. Check mark. Low.
Okay.
You are currently on a menu item. To choose this.
If I want more
Control.
information, or if it's possible for VoiceOver to give me more information, I would change this from low to high, medium, whatever.
Option.
Okay,
Control.
so
Medium. Menu button.
okay. So I went to medium and I hit vo space bar to choose it. So now if I vote left,
Control. Option. Control. Doc item.
doc
You are
item,
currently on a verbosity medium. Menu button.
we've changed it to verbosity medium.
Option. Control. Description. Name. Status. You are currently...
So it's telling me now that it'll give me
Control.
the description, the name, and the status. Okay? So it's up to you how much you want VoiceOver to speak.
Option. Control.
So hold on.
Control. Drawer. Verbosity default. Menu button. Control. Heading. Image. Incrementer. You are currently on a layout area. Layout item. Level indicator. Link. List. List marker. Menu. Menu item. You are currently on a page. Progress and radio button. Progress indicator.
Okay, here. Progress indicator. If I vote right on this, so I used my vote keys and my down arrow, and I went to progress indicator. Now I'm going to vote right.
Option. Control. Verbosity high. Menu button. You are currently on a
Verbosity high. I'm going to vote right
Control.
again.
Option. Description. Name. Status. Type. You are currently on...
So here she gives me a description, name, status, and type. Okay.
Option. Control.
Oops,
Radio
I'm
description.
sorry.
Verbosity high. Menu button. Press menu.
I'm going to choose, I press the menu with vote spacebar, and I'm going to go down to custom.
Default. Low. Medium. Check mark. High. Custom ellipsis. You are currently on a menu. Press high. Menu button. Select the checkbox to enable or disable an item to reorder the items. Use command up arrow and command down arrow.
Okay.
You are currently on a table. To enter this table, press Control, Option, Shift, down arrow.
So custom throws you into a table, and if you interact with that table,
Control, Option, Shift, in item order, table, row 1 of 3, item order name, check, checkbox selected, item order name, check, checkbox. Item order status, check, checkbox, type, check, type, check, status, name, check, checkbox.
okay. So basically what this is you can uncheck things and reorder things. To me, it's a waste of time. I don't see any. If somebody else might, I don't really care what order she tells me the information in. So, to each his own though. But this is what you would do. I'm going to escape out of this.
Custom verbosity table, row 21 of 34. Control, progress indicator, verbosity high, menu button, description, name, status, additional speech custom verbosity table, row 21 of 34. Control, shift, in custom verbosity table.
Okay, she threw me out of the table, so
Progress
I just went
indicator,
back in.
verbosity high, menu button, description, name, status.
Now, because I actually didn't change anything in the custom item we chose, when I escaped out of that table, she threw progress indicator back into high. And that's actually just fine. So you would go, so I'm going to vote down arrow.
Control default, menu button,
Whoops.
control, radio button. You are currently ruler marker. You are currently on a text field.
So these are all
Control.
the categories. As you vote down, you hear progress indicator, radio button, page layout, disclosure triangle, so on and so forth. And then you stop on one of those items, you vote arrow right, and you choose low, medium, or high for the verbosity level. Okay? So that's these options here. So I'm going to stop interacting with this table.
Control, option, on up custom verbosity table. Help button, help button.
And the last thing on this is help. So I'm going to now, that's all there is here, at least on this tab, okay? So now we're gonna go to the next tab.
Control. Cut addition media and up text, braille, speech, selected, tab.
So I'm back to where it says speech selected tab. And the way I got back there, of course, was with vo left arrow, okay? So I'm gonna vo right arrow.
Option control, braille, tab, 2 of select tab braille.
Okay, I vo spaced on braille tab, and I'm gonna run through the choices here.
Control, up text, tab, announcements, tab, default braille verbosity. High, default braille verbosity, pop-up button.
Okay, so by default,
Control.
braille verbosity is set to high. You guys who use braille will obviously change that according to your preferences.
Option, control, additional braille verbosity options, collapse, disclosure triangle, help button, additional braille verbosity.
Okay, and here it says
Control.
disclosure triangle, additional braille verbosity options, disclosure triangle collapsed. So we said we would press vo.
Control, option.
/.
Expanding additional braille verbosity options. Option, control.
Okay, so it said expanding, and now when I vote right, it's going to put us in the table, just like it did with the speech verbosity options.
Custom verbosity table. Shift in custom verbosity table, row 1 of 34. Control, add.
I interacted, and now if I vote down arrow.
Control, checkbox, column view, combo box, disclosure triangle. You are verbosity default, menu button. Control, disclosure triangle.
So it gives you sort of the same categories. It may give you more or less or some different ones. And it's the same idea of you choose the item you want, you vote arrow right, and you choose high, low, medium, custom, so on and so forth. So it's exactly the same thing like the speech verbosity, but now it's for braille verbosity, okay? So now I'm going to stop interacting with this table.
Control, option, on up custom verbosity table. Help button, help button.
And that's all there is here as well. So we're going to go to the next tab. So I'm going to vo left arrow until I get to the tabs.
Custom verbosity, additional braille verbosity, high, default braille verbosity, pins, tab, announcements, text, braille, selected, text, tab, 3 of 5, select tab text.
Okay, our next tab is text. So I vo spaced on the text tab to select it. And now I'm going to vo right arrow past the next tabs to get to the first option.
Control, option, announcements, tab, hints, punctuation. You are currently on a text element.
Okay, so obviously she's announcing to us the first item is punctuation. Vo right.
Option, control, sum, punctuation, pop-up button. Choose press menu check mark, sum.
So
currently on a menu.
It's a pop-up menu. I vo spaced on it, and she said sum check mark. So I have it on sum, And of course, your choices.
Option. Control. None. Customize ellipsis. Customize none. Check mark. All. You are currently.
So it would drive me mental if this was on
Control.
all, because I don't want her to say, for example, hello, Zoe, comma, have a nice day, comma, whatever, you know, blah, 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 exclamation mark, or whatever the case is. I don't want her announcing every single punctuation mark. I have it on some. You can choose none, custom, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to escape out of this. I'm not going to change it because I did change the modifier keys on the voiceover modifier keys. So you know now how to use a pop-up menu and select items. So I'm going to escape out of this.
Sum. Punctuation. Pop-up button.
Okay.
Choose which punctuation and symbols to speak. You are currently on a pop-up button.
Okay. So she also said,
Control.
choose which symbols and punctuation to speak. And you can play there with the custom and see if it'll give you more options. So if there's a symbol you really want spoken, maybe at that point, maybe there would be an option to find it. For me, VoiceOver works just fine with the punctuation set at some. So I'm going to vote right.
Control. Option. Repeated punctuation. You are first 3 times. Repeated punctuation. Pop-up button. Choose how to speak repeated punctuation. You are currently on a pop-up button. To display a list of options, press Control, Option, Space.
Okay. So repeated punctuation.
Repeated punctuation. You some. Repeated punctuation. First 3 times. Repeated punctuation. Pop-up button.
Okay.
Control.
So mine is set to first 3 times. And if we open up this menu.
Option. Control. Menu check mark. First 4 times. First 5 times. First 5 times. First 4 times. Check mark. First 3 times. First 2 times. Spoken with count. Always spoken. Always spoken.
Okay.
You are
So
currently on a.
You hear the choices. Always spoken.
Control.
Spoken with count.
Spoken with count. First 2 times.
First 2 times. First 3 times. First 4 times. First 5 times. Mine is set to first 3 times. To be honest with you, I don't even know if I set that or if that was the default. I'm not sure. But there's another option for repeated punctuation. Not too important for me, but for people who are maybe in college, university, and they're editing stuff and whatever, you might need to change the setting. So I'm going to escape out of this.
First 3 times. Repeated punctuation. Pop up.
And I'm going to vote right.
Control. While typing speak. You are currently on a.
Okay. For me, this is really important.
Control.
While typing speak. This is a preference. Some people don't want to hear anything when they're typing except the word once they press the space bar. Some people are sufficient with just characters, so on. For me, and this has been the same for me on Windows and JAWS, and even way back when I was using Zoom text. I feel more confident that when I'm typing, I want to hear each letter I press, and I want to hear the word when I press the space bar to make sure that it's the word I'm looking for, that I'm correct, and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to vote left and vote right again so you guys can hear this.
Option. Control. First 3. While typing speak.
While typing speak, vote right.
Characters and words. While typing speak. Pop-up button.
Okay.
Menu check mark. Characters and words.
So I opened up the pop-up button with vote space, and as you can hear, it says words, characters and words, check mark. And the choices in here, of course, are
Option. Control. Nothing. You are currently on a nothing. Check mark. Characters and words. Words. Characters. Characters.
Right. So you can have, while you type, she can speak characters only, words only, characters and words, or nothing. To me, my setting is characters and words because that's my preference. So I'm going to escape out of this.
Characters and words. While typing speak. Pop-up button. Option. Control.
We're going to
Choose
vote
the
right
amount of
again.
feedback when moving the cursor. You are currently on a.
When moving the cursor.
Control option. Speak text the cursor passes. When moving the cursor. Pop-up button. Choose the amount of.
Okay. Actually, I should let
Control.
you hear. Hold on.
Control. When moving the cursor, speak text, the cursor passes. When moving the cursor, pop-up button. Choose the amount of feedback for typing. You are currently on a pop-up button. To display a list of options, press Control, Option, Space.
Okay, so when the cursor passes over text, the amount you want spoken. So I'm going to open this pop-up button.
Option. Menu check mark. Speak text, the cursor passes. You are currently speak text to the right of the cursor. Speak text to the right of the cursor. Check mark. Speak text, the cursor passes. Check mark. Speak text, the cursor passes.
Okay, so you have two choices in here. Speak text that the cursor passes or speak text to the right of the cursor. I have it to the first option. Again, guys, these are preferences. I can talk to you about them. If there's one that I really believe is extremely important for most blind people, I'll show you how it works. But up until this point, these are personal preferences, okay? So I'm going to exit out of this or escape out of this.
Control. Speak text.
And we're going to vote right.
When moving the cursor, pop. When text attributes change. You are currently do nothing. When text attributes change, pop-up button.
Okay.
Control.
This might be very important for college students or, for students in general. When text attributions change. Mine is set to nothing, but let's look at the choices in here.
Option. Menu check mark. Do nothing. Play tone. Speak attributes. Speak attributes. Play tone. Check mark. Do nothing. Check mark. Play tone. Speak attributes.
Now, speak attributes would be good because if you want to know the text changes, the attributions, especially if you're doing essays or editing things for school or even for work, depending what kind of a job you work in. Text attributions may not be important to your job, but then again, it may be. Maybe you're working with manuscripts. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you're working for a lawyer's office and you need to know exactly, where things are capitalized, where things are, I'm trying to give you examples, but you get the idea. So playing a tone will tell you that something has changed here, but it won't tell you what the changes are. Speak attributions will tell you the changes. I have it set to nothing because for my purposes right now on the Mac and on the internet and so on and so forth, I don't need to know the text attribution. So I'm going to escape out of this.
Control. Do nothing. When text attributes change. Pop-up button. Control.
Okay.
Option.
I'm going to
Choose
vote right.
style attribute when encountering a misspelled word. You are currently
when encountering a misspelled word. And I will show you guys, not now, how to use the spell checker on the Mac. But here's an option, okay?
Control. Option. Speak attributes. When encountering a misspelled word. Pop-up button. When encountering a misspelled word. Speak attributes. When encountering a press menu check mark. Speak attributes.
Okay, so same thing. When VoiceOver encounters a misspelled word, what do you want her to do? Do you want her to tell you, misspelled? This word is misspelled.
Control. Change pitch. Change pitch. Check mark. Speak attribute. Play tone. Do nothing. Do nothing.
So see, your choices here are do nothing because you don't want her to tell you misspelled because you're confident in your spelling, or you're going to run a spell check at the end. So you don't want her constantly telling you misspelled, misspelled, misspelled. Or as you heard in the options, you can have her, you can set it to do nothing. So because you're going to check it at the end, you can have it to play a tone. So that way, let's say you're typing up a document. If you type up a whole entire document and don't hear a tone,
6 notifications.
If you're confident in the misspelled words, if you're confident in VoiceOver and you don't hear a tone, then you don't have to run a spell check because you didn't make any mistakes because no tone, you didn't hear a tone. Again, this is a preference thing and it depends what type of work you do or if you're in school or if you're just a casual user of the internet or whatever. So,
Control Option.
hold on.
Play tone. Check mark. Speak attribute. Play tone. Do nothing. Do nothing. Play check mark. Change pitch.
Okay, and it's also got to change pitch. So when she encounters a misspelled word, she'll say, so let's say let's say you spell the word, I'm trying to think of a word I can misspell for you guys. Table. And let's say by accident you enter an extra B. So let's say you type in T-A-B-B-L-E. You want to spell the word table, but you've added by accident an extra B. If you have it to change pitch, she will say table. Maybe her regular voice is table. If you were to type in table the right way, she'll say table. But because you said you've typed in table and maybe that's misspelled and that's not a word, she'll go table. So she'll change her pitch. It's, again, these are personal preferences depending on how you're going to work. And these are things you can always go back and change. So I'm going to escape out of this.
Speak attributes. When encountering a misspelled word, pop-up button.
And I'm going to vote right.
When encountering a link/attachment. You are currently on a text element.
When encountering a link or attachment, let's vote right.
Speak. When encountering a link/attachment, pop-up button.
Again,
Choose
pop-up
how to
button.
announce link. Press menu check mark.
So how do you
Control.
want VoiceOver to tell you there's a link or an attachment? Do you want her to say youtube.com link? Do you want her?
Option. Change pitch.
Do you want
You
her
are
to
currently on a
change
menu item.
pitch?
Play tone. Do nothing. Do nothing. Play tone. Change check mark. Speak. Check mark. Speak.
Okay.
Speak. When
For me, I want to hear her
Control.
say attachment or link. You can, again, play tone, change pitch, so on and so forth. You get the idea. Again, it's a preference. We're going to vote right.
Option. Control. Read numbers as. You are currently on a text element.
Pardon me. Again, another preference thing. Read numbers as.
Control. Words. Read numbers as. Pop-up button. Choose menu check mark. Words. Digits. Digits. Check mark. Words. Check mark. Words.
So here you have the option of digits and words. I have it set to words. Again, this is a preference. So let's escape out of this.
Control. Words. Read when reading a capital letter. You change pitch. When reading a capital letter. Pop-up button. Choose how to.
So when reading a
Control.
capital letter, by accident you press the caps lock and you type the letter A, but you don't want a cap A, she's going to go A instead of A, you know? So it's up to you again how you want this preference. Again, it's a pop-up.
Control option. Menu check mark. Play tone. Speak cap. Do nothing. You are currently speak cap. Play tone. Check mark. Change pitch.
Okay, so she can actually say cap A, and I'm actually going to change it to
Control
that.
option. Play tone. Speak cap. Choose speak cap. When
Okay.
reading a capital letter.
So I chose speak
Control.
cap. So now every time I press, let's say, shift letter A, she's going to say cap A. Okay, and let's
Control.
go right.
Option. When deleting text. Change pitch. When deleting text. Pop-up button.
Okay, again, another pop-up button, and if we choose the
Control option.
options,
Menu check mark. Change pitch. Play tone. Speak. Do nothing. Do nothing. Speak. Play tone. Check mark. Change pitch.
okay.
Control. Change.
So when deleting text,
When deleting text. Pop-up button.
you can have her do nothing, and then that's not good because you're not going to know what you're deleting. You can have her, I guess, announcing delete. I don't know how that works. I haven't tried it because it didn't suit me. I'm assuming she'll announce deleting R, deleting A, deleting, or something like that. You can have her play a tone, which again defeats the purpose I think it defeats the purpose. I have it on change pitch because if I spell the word table, T-A-B-B-L-E, and I spacebar and she goes table, and I'm like, table? I don't want table, I want table. I'm going to backspace, and as I backspace, her pitch is going to change, and it's going to go spacebar, E-L-B. Well, now I know that I've gotten to the B, and I can just type in LE space and I've gotten rid of that B. So that's my preference. Again, these are things you're gonna have to play with. Let's vote right again.
Control Option. Help button. Help button.
And we get to the help button. So
Option.
I'm going back up to the caps.
Removing the characters while cap first read. Repeat song. Punctual hints. Announcements. Tab. Text. Selected. Announcements. Tab. 4 of 5. Select Control. Option. Tab. Announcements. Control.
Okay. I'd like to get through this category today, but I think I'm running out of time. But let's go through announcements quickly.
Option. Hints. Tab. Announcements. Selected. Hint. Announce when mouse cursor enters a window. Unchecked. Currently on it.
I personally have that unchecked
Control.
because I don't care when the mouse cursor enters the window.
Option.
Next option.
Announce when a modifier key is pressed. Check. Checkbox.
Now, if you uncheck this and you go to press Control Option, which are your vote keys, or your caps lock if you have it set that way, it's not going to say anything. So if you don't want to hear her say Control Option all the time, you can choose to do that. I have it for her to announce it because I don't only use Control Option for vote. Sometimes I use Option for something like Option Shift down arrow or right arrow to select a word. And if I have this set not to announce modifier keys, she's not going to announce that I'm pressing the Option key. And I might make a mistake and press another key. So I think that you should have this checked. And listen again.
Control. Option. Announce when mouse cursor enters a window. Announce when a modifier key is pressed. Check. Checkbox.
Okay.
You are currently on a checkbox.
Checked box.
Control.
If I wanted to uncheck it, I would vote space here. Let's keep going.
Option. Announce when the caps lock key is pressed. Check. Checkbox.
Okay.
You are currently on a checkbox. Just
same idea. Announce when the caps lock
Control.
key is pressed. Checkbox checked.
Control. Speak header when navigating across a table row. Check. Checkbox. You are currently on it.
For those of you who navigate tables,
Control.
do you want her to speak the headers? I have it to yes.
Control. Automatically speak text in dialog boxes. Check. Checkbox.
Very important. Automatically speak text in dialog boxes. Checked. Now, if you're not in front of your computer and the dialog box has already popped up and VoiceOver has already spoken the text in the dialog box, you might not be able to access that dialog box because I haven't showed you how to do it. There is a way to access that box so that, like for example, system dialog boxes. But have it checked because if you're working on a computer and a dialog box pops up, you want VoiceOver to tell you what it's saying. So please keep that checked. Let's vote arrow right.
Control. Option. Append phonetic pronunciation to single characters. Check. Checkbox. You are currently.
Now phonetic, open
Control.
phonetic characters and so on and so forth. Again, preferences. I have mine to check.
Control. When status text changes under VoiceOver cursor. You play tone. When status text changes under VoiceOver cursor. Pop-up button.
So when static text changes under the VoiceOver cursor, I personally don't care if static text changes at this point in my life. So I have it just to set to play a tone. Again, it's a pop-up menu. Vote space on it and choose your preference. Let's keep going.
Option. Control. When progress indicator changes under VoiceOver cursor. You are
Okay. When you're on a
Control.
progress bar because you're downloading something or you're updating something, what do you want VoiceOver to do? In my case, I want her to speak the progress.
Control. Speak update. When progress indicator changes under VoiceOver cursor. Pop-up button.
Speak
You are
update.
currently on
So
a pop-up button. Menu check mark.
I open the menu. She says menu
Control.
check bar, speak progress. But here are your choices.
Option. Control. Do nothing. Do nothing. Check mark. Speak update. Play tone. Play tone. Check mark. Speak update. Speak update. When
So-
progress indicator change.
So your only options are do nothing,
Control.
have a tone for the progress bar, or or speak progress. Now, I wanted to keep this episode under an hour, but I don't want to leave this category. We're going to finish off the announcements and we're going to go through the hints and then I'm going to let you go. So this will be part 1 of voiceover utility. And obviously, as you can see, there's a lot here. So let's keep going. Hold on. Let me tell my mom something. Mana, listo.
Option control. When number of rows change under voiceover cursor. Do nothing. When number of rows change under voiceover cursor. Pop-up button.
Okay.
You are currently on it.
Now you can hear what voiceover is saying.
Control.
When number of rows changes, I have it to do nothing. Of course, again, depending what you're doing on the computer, you might want to change that setting. Let's keep going.
Option. Speak size and position in. Inches. Speak size and position in. Pop-up button. Choose how dimensions are spoken. You are currently on a pop-up button.
So, do you want her to tell you things
Control.
in inches, centimeters? Mine is set to inches,
Option.
but if
Control. Press menu check mark millimeters. Points. Millimeters. Check mark inches. Check mark inches. Control.
So she inches, millimeters, or points. I have mine to inches. I've never needed to know anything like that. But for somebody who does, millimeters might be a better option. I'm going to escape out of this.
Inches. Speak size and position in. Pop-up button. Option control. Speak text under mouse after delay. Uncheck. Checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. To select or deselect this check.
I really don't use a mouse.
Control.
So I don't care. So I have this unchecked. It's, speak text under mouse after delay. So in other words, if you're visually impaired and you're using a mouse on the Mac and not relying too much on VoiceOver and you're using a mouse, you could check this. And once you stop moving your mouse, if there's text under there, she'll speak it. Okay. So let's vote right arrow.
Option. Control. 0 seconds. Speak text under mouse after delay. Slider.
Okay.
Set how long to wait before text under the mouse pointer is spoken.
Okay. Here's a slider.
Control.
How many seconds of a delay do you want her to speak the text under the mouse? Now, the way to change the slider is to interact with it. So, for example, okay, I'm going to actually turn this feature on and I'll turn it off again so I can show you this. Hold on. I'm going to vote left arrow.
Option control. Speak text under mouse after delay. Uncheck. Checkbox. You check. Speak text under mouse after delay. Checkbox.
Okay. So I vote spaced when I heard her say speak text under the mouse after delay, and I pressed the vote space bar so she can check that box. So I'm just going to vote left and right again so you can hear it.
Control. Inches. Speak text under mouse after delay. Check. Checkbox.
So see now she says check.
Control.
Checked. Checkbox. So now it's checked. So now we're going to go to the slider.
Control option. 0 seconds. Speak text under mouse after delay. Slider.
Okay.
Set how long to wait before text under the mouse pointer is spoken.
So now
current.
You need to interact
Control
with this slider. So vote
option.
shift,
Control shift
down.
and slider.
And she says in slider. So now
0 seconds. Control option. 0 seconds. 0 seconds. 0 seconds. 0 seconds. In slider. 0 seconds. 0 seconds. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. In slider. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second.
Okay. Well, she's not allowing me for right now for purposes I don't know why. She's not allowing me to go past 1 second.
Control shift. On up slider. Short. Long. You are currently on a text up short. Hell button. Long. Short. 1 second. Speak text under mouse after delay. Slider.
So it has it under 1 second. It should be able to go to 5 seconds, but let me try again. Vote shift
Control.
down.
Shift. In slider. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Quick nav on. 1 second. 2 seconds. 1 second. 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 2 seconds.
Okay. So I turned quick nav on and she let me go to 2 seconds, for example. I'm going to turn quick nav off.
Quick nav off.
So this particular slider is a little bit of a pain in the butt. I've used other sliders in on the Mac, and I haven't had a problem with them. I'm gonna try one more thing. Hold on.
Control Option Shift in slider. Increment 2 seconds. Increment 2 seconds. Speak text under mouse after delay. Slider. Increment 2 seconds. Speak text under mouse after delay. Control Option. 1 second. 1 sec. 2 second.
Yeah, okay. Anyhow, it's not letting me go past 2 seconds. I don't know if there's a bug here because I've used sliders in the past and I haven't had a problem with them. But that's how you would change the slider. You would interact with it and then use your Vo arrow keys, you know, to, pardon me, to move around and get to what you want. And I will show you how good this works on another slider. I don't use a mouse, so I'm actually going to stop interacting with this slider.
Shift auto slider. Speak text under mouse after delay. Checkbox.
And I'm going to
currently on a checkbox.
I'm going to uncheck this by pressing Vo space bar.
Option. Uncheck. Speak text under mouse after 2 seconds. Short. Long. Help button. Help button.
And we're down to the help button. Now, if you noticed, she said 2 seconds because I did change it to 2 seconds. But it isn't going to work because I unchecked the box. So don't worry about that. So now we are our last tab. We're going to go back all the way up to the tab. I'm sorry. We're going to go all the way back up to the tabs with Vo left arrow. Actually, hold on a sec. Whoops.
FN.
Okay. I want to see something.
Option. Control. FN. Help button. Toolbar. Okay. You are currently on it.
I didn't want to arrow left all the way to the top of the window. So I pressed my Vo keys, function key, plus my left arrow, and it got me to the top of the window. It got me to toolbar. So now I have to just Vo arrow right to get back to my tabs. But I don't have to do it 1,000 times. So.
Option Control. Utility tab. Speech. Braille. Text. Announcements. Selected. Tab. 4 of 5. Hints. Tab. 5 of 5. You are currently on tab. 5
so as you can see, when I pressed my modifier keys plus function plus left arrow key, it took me to the top of the window. And all I had to do was Vo arrow right twice to get to the tabs. Where when we went through the announcement screen, we went through, I'm sorry, I don't remember, 50 options or whatever, 20 options. And we were at the bottom of the screen. And if I did Vo left arrow to get back to the top of the screen, I basically would have to do it 20 times. I didn't want to because there's an easier way. And it's Vo function left arrow key. And there might be even an easier way. But right now, this is the command that came to my head. And I used it and it worked. So the final tab, and this will be the final thing I'll show you guys today, is the hints tab. And if you heard, I am on the hints tab, but because I'm blabbing away, let's confirm by Vo left arrow and then Vo right arrow to make sure where we are.
Control. Announcements. Selected. Hints. Tab. 5 of 5. You are currently on a tab. 5 of 5. To select this option, press Control. Option. Space.
Okay. So I selected hints by pressing Vo space, and I'm just going to confirm.
Control. Announce hints. Selected. Speak instructions for using the hints. Selected.
Okay. So hints is selected. Let's go through this screen.
Control. Speak instructions for using the item in the voiceover cursor. Checkbox.
If you're a newbie on the net, pardon me, on the Mac, please have this checked. You want VoiceOver to give you instructions. So I'm going to let you hear that again.
Option. Speak instructions for using the item in the voiceover cursor. Checkbox. You are currently on a check.
Speak instructions
Control.
for what's in the voiceover cursor. Please have that checked.
Control.
We're going to Vo arrow right.
When an item has a help tag. Speak help tag. When an item has a help tag. Pop-up button.
Okay.
Control.
When an item has a help tag. So, do you want VoiceOver to tell you how to interact? Do you want VoiceOver or, any type of help tag? If you're a newbie, have her speak the help tags until you get confident on the Mac. I'm going to press the pop-up menu.
Control. Menu check mark. Speak help tag. Check mark. Speak help tag. Speak notification. Do nothing. Do nothing. Speak notification. Check mark. Speak help tag.
So
You are
those are
currently on a
those are your three options. A notification, do nothing, speak help tag. I really recommend that this should be on. I'm going to escape out of this menu.
speak help tag. When an item has a help tag, pop-up button.
Okay. We're going to vote arrow right to the next item.
Option. Speak hints after delay. You are currently on 0 seconds. Speak hints after delay. Short. You long. You help button. Long. Short. 0 seconds. Speak hints after delay. Slider. Set how long to wait before hints are spoken. Speak hints after delay. You are current.
The next thing she's asking you
Control.
is how long do you want her to take to speak the help or the hint or whatever the case is? Do you want her to speak it right away? Do you want her to wait a few seconds? It's a preference thing. If you want her to wait a few seconds, you might be sitting there wondering, what is this? What do I do? And then she'll tell you. Or maybe you know what to do. And just as you're about to start doing it, she starts telling you the help, whatever, or the hint. So it's up to you where you have this. I have it set to 0, and this is another slider again. So
Control. Speak help tag. When an item has a help tag, pop-up button. Speak hints after delay. 0 seconds. Speak hints after delay. Shift in slider. Set how long to wait before hints are spoken. You are control. Option. Shift in slider. 0 seconds. 1 second. 1 second. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. 3 seconds. 4 seconds. 4 seconds. 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
okay. So I've interacted with the slider, and this one is working properly. I interacted with it twice, actually. And then I started pressing right arrow. And as you can see, I moved the slider to 5 seconds. But I don't want it set to 5 seconds. Actually, let me see how long it goes.
Option. 6 seconds. 6, 7, 8, not 10.
Okay. So 10 seconds is the longest she'll wait. And 0 seconds is the shortest. So I'm going to go back to 0.
Control. Not 8. 4 second. 3 sec. 3 sec. 2 sec. 2 sec. 1 sec. 1 second. 0 seconds. 0 seconds.
Okay. So I'm back to 0 because I don't want a delay in her speaking hints and help tags and all that stuff. And I'm going to stop interacting with the slider.
Option. Control. Shift. Out of slider.
Okay. And the last item on this screen is your help
Control.
button.
Short. Long. Help button. Help button.
Okay.
You are currently on the button. To click.
We've gone through all
Control.
5 tabs in this category. I'm going to go back up to the top.
Option. Control. Launch. When an item has a speak hint, announcements, text, braille, speech, utility categories, table, verbosity, selected.
Okay.
You are
So
control.
we're on the, I'm going to interact with the table.
Option. Shift. In utility categories, table, verbosity, selected, speech, verbosity. You are general. General.
Okay. So we went through the general tab and the verbosity tab. We're going to end it here for today because it's been over an hour that you guys and I have been communicating, that we've been learning together. So I'm going to put my, pardon me, my headset back on. Obviously, to get out of VoiceOver utility. So you guys can press Command Q to quit the VoiceOver utility, or you can go up to the toolbar, interact with it, and wait, find the button that says close and hit VoSpace on it. I find it easier to hit Command Q. I've stopped sharing the screen for right now because we're done for today. I really wanted to keep this episode under an hour, but I think that the VoiceOver utility is going to go that way. I don't want to cut a category in half. I guess if I have to in the future, I will, but I try not to. We only did 2 options in the voiceover utility, which is general and verbosity. And we have a few more to go. So I hope this helps to get you started. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I hope you learned something. I tried to explain the choices as best I can for you. But if you want further information, or you want me to demonstrate something, for example, Zoe, can you demonstrate that option with the words and characters or whatever, do nothing? Can you show me how that works so I can make a decision which one I want? I would be happy to do so, of course. So again, I hope I helped. I hope you understood everything. I hope everything was clear. And if you need to reach me, as always, Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner at gmail.com. And Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway at gmail.com. And I'll be happy to. Anyhow, so I will see you guys on the next episode. As always, I love you guys very, very, very much. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to Learning Together here on Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway and Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner. Remember, you can catch Learning Together every Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and 1 a.m. GMT. That's UK time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.